Hello folks, and welcome to the Irish Whiskey Review with me, Martin Macaulay. And tonight we're going to be reviewing the Dark Silkie. Now we're doing this because this weekend we are doing the Facebook Live and we will be reviewing this live with competition winners. But it's not actually this. The one we'll be reviewing is the cask strength version. This is the normal bottling. This is the one that you can buy in the shops. But we are getting a bit of an exclusive and we're getting the cask strength version. So we're going to review this. So the usual people who watch the show on Saturday night and do the competition winners, they can have a little bit of a preview if they haven't tried this. Now, this is the Dark Silkie. There is the ordinary Silkie as well, which is non-peated. This is a little bit peated. It's not massively peated, but it's got a touch of peat. Now, the guys down at the Sleeve League distillery, which is down in Donegal, well, they're really paying a heritage to the old history of Irish whiskey. Recently, it's become Irish whiskey was very approachable, clean, triple distilled, etc., etc. So that was how Irish whiskey is perceived. But go back another century, and peated whiskies were fairly normal in Ireland. They certainly up around Donegal and that area. So there would have been a tradition of peated Irish whiskies. This is a little bit of a strange fish, strange silkie. Anyone who doesn't know, a silkie is kind of like an Irish mermaid, although you hear about them in sort of other folklores. You know, Canada have their own version of a silkie. It's basically it's something similar to a mermaid. You know, they tempt in, come to me, sailors. You know, people on the shore, come to me. These beautiful people, beautiful nymphs in the water who turn into sort of fish. Now I've been drunk a lot in my life. I've never been that drunk that I've decided that a seal looked good. So who knows? Who knows? There might be out there, but I've never been that drunk. Anyway, this is the Dark Silkie. Now, I said it's a bit of a hodgepodge. When I reviewed this for the Sunday Life, I said it's a bit like a jazz band. There's lots of different things to it, but it kind of like one thing's want to do this, and you know, but it all sort of blends in and it works. This is kind of like this. This is a smoky blend made from double distilled and triple distilled peated single malts and soft grain whiskey. Okay, so it's double distilled, triple distilled, and grain whiskey all blended into this. It's finished in bourbon casks, it's finished in sherry casks, it's got peat in it. It's all over. So does it work? Now, the one thing I will say, the first bottle of ordinary Silkie that I got, when I opened it, I wasn't that keen on it. I didn't think it was very good. But as the bottle went down, I found it got better. It just got better until by the time it was finished, I thought that's very good. I actually really like it. But just the initial one I didn't think it was very good. This I liked pretty much off the bat. But I've actually went through this a lot quicker than I went through the ordinary Silkie. The ordinary Silkie probably took me 8 months to drink it, maybe a little bit more than that. This I've had a few months, and yeah, I seem to be taking nips out of it, you know. Colour wise, it's bottled at 46%. It's non-chill filtered. James has said that lots of people don't chill filter because they say it interferes with the integrity of the bottling, interferes with the character and all this. James, who runs this, has said the reason it's not chill filtered is because he can't afford a chill filtration system. That's a level of honesty way beyond the integrity of the bottling. The wholeheartedly good man. I like that. Now, it's non-coloured, so we got a wee look at the colour. Okay. sorry, the colour of it. I think there's probably a little bit of colouring in it, but nothing major. It's probably not that terribly old aged the whiskey. But then people get very hung up on aged whiskies with peat. You don't really want massively aged peated whiskies. That's not really what it's for. Anyway, on the nose, you do get the smoke comes through, but it's very subtle, and you do get that darting about a little bit. It's cigar box, so it's not smoky. It's kind of got that essence of smoke without it being too much. Non-peated people could drink this. Non-peated whiskey people could drink this. Peated guys might be a little bit subdued for them, but for those who don't like peat, this would definitely be approachable. There's a vegetative note there. It's kind of like wet grass, wet cut grass, fresh fruit, apples, pears, estery as I would call it. It's quite green. There's a sugary sweetness that probably comes from the sherry cask, which it's a little bit sweet for my palate. I don't have a sweet tooth, so when I say something's a bit sweet, I don't mean it can be sweet enough for other people, just not necessarily for me. It's maybe a little bit over sweet for me. And the wood's coming through there. You're getting the oak. You're getting the oak cask, probably coming from the bourbon casks that it's sitting in. So there's that sweetness. There's probably that marriage a little bit off with the sweetness for the sherry and the bourbon, and then the smoke coming in maybe just unbalances that slightly. Not bad. It's very good on the nose, but again, maybe just a little sweet for me. Yeah, but definitely the smoke's coming in there, but it's not heavy smoke. It's that kind of subtle, fresh tobacco-y note to it. You know, it's kind of like that. It's like a cigar box. You know, it's very fresh, very fresh. On the palate, the 46% helps this. Really makes it zip. I think if it was bottled at 40%, it probably wouldn't be. It wouldn't just be as crisp and fresh. I might put a little tiny bit of water in this, just to try it. It's got vanilla. Again, it's got that freshness. The smoke again, it sits in below a little bit of sweetness, and it's one of those that's kind of slightly disjointed, but it kind of works. It's got that jazzy element to it. There's marshmallows there, that sort of toasted little sweetness with the smoke there. It's got that sort of very light sugary flavour to it. It's quite nice. Little touch of jam there. That sort of tiny little bit of sort of cooked fruit, where on the nose it's much fresher, and on the palate it kind of comes down a bit. The sort of deepens that sort of rich sugar taste to it. The sort of vegetative notes, they've kind of gone on the palate. I really like the fact that it's bottled at 46, because it does give it that room to manoeuvre. If you're going to put a touch of water in that, probably not very much. I'll put a little bit in it before we finish, just to try it for myself, and let you see. On the finish, it's got a toffee. It's not very rich on the finish, but it's got a reasonable length. It's got a kind of freshness that goes all the way through. A little bit of dark chocolate. The smoke's still there, but again, it's very subtle. It's very fresh. So you kind of have that juxtaposition with, you have that sort of smoky flavour, but the fresh, clean cut. I think the cleanness is probably coming from the grain, that lightness, and then you've got these sort of dark things working in below it, which probably is a bit like the Silkie. You know, you think, oh, this is this attractive woman, and there's sort of a hidden under thing about the fact that she's got flippers. So it's something like that. If I'm honest, when I read the label of this, I thought to myself, I'm not going to like this. It's going to bounce about all over the place and be very, but it doesn't. It actually works. It's very good. This is it's fantastic value for money. This I bought online, and it was £33 a bottle, I think. What, there or thereabouts. It was just over £30 for a 46%. That makes a difference, because the tax that they have to pay on that certainly makes a difference. And remember, if you're used to drinking 40%, you're getting an extra 15% alcohol in the bottle. So if you decided that you wanted this at 40%, you've an extra 15% in volume on the bottle. And this is important, folks. You have to remember this. People offer you 10% off. Well, you imagine if this was at 40%, you could take 15% off the price. You're talking, this would be about £27 a bottle at 40%. It would probably lose something being at that. But it's just, I'm highlighting that to tell you just how good a value for money that this is. The bottling, nice clear bottle. It's one of the long bottles. The labelling on it, really nice label. Nice black and gold, which always seems to work. So the Sleeve Lake Distillery down in Donegal. Big plans for these guys have big plans, big ambitions. Absolutely to be applauded and congratulated. We always like people who have big plans and want to experiment in things, shake things up. Now I'm going to put a little bit of water in this, just for my own experimental purposes. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. Now I have to be aware of time with these, because YouTube become very pernickety. If you like these videos, guys, please subscribe to the channel. I know everybody wants massive people. I just want enough, essentially, so that I can do things with it. Google are very restrictive. YouTube's very restrictive in what they do if you don't have a certain number of subscribers. It's all a bit weird to me. But anyway, so a little bit of water. Swish it around. The smoke's going a little bit down, obviously with the water in it, and again it's more a vegetative note that comes off it with that. Again, it's kind of that fresh cut grass, maybe even something a little bit like fresh peppery. Where at 46 you were getting a little bit more fresh fruit with apples, pears, that kind of thing. This is more like fresh peppers, that kind of note. It's kind of lost the sort of sweet sharpness of it. Still a little bit sugary sweet, but the fruit sweetnesses are going out of it. With the water in it, the smoke on the palate has pretty much gone. Not a huge amount of it left. It's changed. The wood's coming through an awful lot more, and where it was kind of the marshmallowy sort of deeper sugar. Again, it's went a little bit. It's went a little bit. Just not It's lost a bit of the sweetness, to be honest. Yeah. Um, the smoke comes through on the finish, and it's actually on the finish. There's a little bit more. How would you put it? Uh, on the initial part of the finish, you get a little bit more of a boom, and the finish actually not really affected by the water. The palate's where it's kind of lost. It's lost a certain something on the palate with the water. The finish is good. Mouthfeel, which I like to always comment on. It's okay. It doesn't have that sort of very deep, rich, uh, sort of treacly thing in your mouth. But at £32, folks, and I'm a great believer in value for money. This is something very good. It's something an awful lot different than what a lot of people are offering out on the market at the minute. It is a little bit of a boom 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 a mix and match. Nothing wrong with this. It's finished really well. Price wise, superb. It's well worth for someone who might want to try a different whiskey, thinks that something bit different is for them, or they want to try to give a present for someone who they think is a whiskey drinker and who wants to try something a bit different. I recommend this. This is very good. When I reviewed this for the Sunday Life, I give it 7 out of 10. I would actually probably raise that to probably 7.5 out of 10, which I mean is very very good for a bottling of that at that price range. I think it's really good, really interesting. Really want to see what these guys are going to do in the next few years. We'll talk a lot more about that on Saturday night. This coming Saturday night. If you're watching this in a while in the future from now, the Saturday night will be over. But Facebook Live this Saturday night, 10 o'clock. Competition winners will be availing themselves of a bottle of this. So with that, I shall bid you all good night and God bless and take care.